what's up YouTube? Another live door from locals. So this is the final of this locals. On the right hand side I've got Cool Tunes, on the left hand side there is Orcust Azamina. So we start off with Synchro Overtake, we get direct access to Rico, attempt to use Rico's effect. This is all going on unanswered at this exact moment in time, so we're just trying to make sure we get the right combination. I think I've opened up quite a lot of hand interactions as well. So it's making sure that we keep those or are able to recycle the ones that we feel are going to be the most important. So we get to go normal summon down Q. Q's effect is now going to get us direct access to Red Nova. And then pretty much this is a standard play from this point on, being able to use Q plus Red Nova. Work our way into Trap Maker. Chaining 1 Trap Maker, chaining 2 Red Nova, chaining 3 Q. Off the top we see the Fallen and the Virtuous and we see Orcust Nightmare. It's like, well, I don't really want Orcust Nightmare in the deck. You've got more ways of getting to it. I know you'll play 3 copies of it, and maybe. I'm not too sure what the most recent builds of Orcust are. So we banish the Nightmare, even though they can get it back, and we bottom deck the Fallen and the Virtuous. We then get to summon out a Rico. Obviously we've already used Rico's effect here, because we did it off of Synchro Overtake. We do get to activate the JJ Cool Tune. JJ Cool Tune for the additional normal summon of Mix. This is where we get a little bit greedy, and again, it's not respecting Nibiru. I got quite lucky that the last time that we can disrespect Nibiru before having the Chainbound Dragon, I didn't face Nibiru. So that then gives me Q. Now, usually you'll be adding Q as a follow-up, but I think I actually added Q because I've got Herald of the Orange Light in the hand, and like no one expects Herald of the Orange Light right now. We go into Remix. Now, this is just something that I'm doing a lot more of, rather than going directly into RS. Now, there's pros and cons to that. The pros are that it means that when you use Remix to tag out, you're ideally trying to get a little bit greedy by being able to utilize the Rico Graveyard effect and the RS Graveyard effect. Sorry, the Mix Graveyard effect to go into RS. So we start off with Wanted, that gets hit with the Ash Blossom. Trying to use Gearsu, just contemplating like, do we just disrupt the Gearsu? This is where the Herald of the Orange Light comes in, and they're like, what? Herald of the Orange Light. So we've traded off 2 for 2 now. We're going to set a card. We go to the end phase, we try to use Remix, that gets hit with Impulse, which is quite damaging, but because we're able to save it to the end phase, like, okay, cool, I've taken away Impulse from them. I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference. Like, if they kept Impulse in the hand, they still would have done the exact same thing. So we go with Synchro Overtake. This time, I think I go for Mix. Yeah, Mix then gets me to level 3, which will be Q, and we can pretty much just do exactly what we did turn number 1 all over again. Maybe before normal summoning down the Q, I should have gone into RS so that I can answer that set card. But I didn't feel that set card was that fretful. Like, I couldn't think what it would be. Like, the worst thing it would be with an Infinite Impermanence, which would have probably been hit on the Mix. So, yeah, I'm just explaining to my opponent. He goes with Wanted. It's like, it just adds. And I'm kind of like, is it worth it? I'm like, no, I'm just going to Ghost Spell it. I'm not even going to let you get any resource. So they've only got that 1 card left in the hand. And again, like with the simplified game set, or 2 cards left in the hand, sorry. We top deck the Ash. We banish the Droplet, and I'm like, well, I don't think I'm going to use anything that can be ashed during my opponent's turn. So I don't mind them having that. I think they got two cards in the hand, I think. And then they'll get Ash Blossom, and it's just like, okay, cool. Switch the Rico that was summoned in the previous turn into attack mode. Attack for 15 there, just counting up the amount of tuners in my graveyard and my opponent's attacking with RS. And then I think it's pretty much kind of just scooping there. So we activate Cool Tune Synchro during the battle phase to push through for game. So we get to go into game number 2. My opponent starts off with a Cash Terror package, and this is actually really, really annoying. In the sense that, like, number 1, I wasn't really expecting the Cash Terror package. They've hard opened up the Birth, so they get to set up Unicorn and Fenrir. Setting 1 card, obviously no access to Orcust cards, but just having Fenrir and Unicorn can actually be quite damaging against the deck, depending on what mix of cards you have. Now, I felt relatively comfortable because I was like, okay, I've got Q, but I've also got Cool Tune Synchro. The only thing I need to worry about is if they have Dominus Impulse and the Fallen and the Virtuous. So either of those 2 cards cause me issues. So start off with Cool Tune Q, use the effect to summon from the deck. That gets hit with the Ash Blossom. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That means my Cool Tune Synchro will resolve. But then because we've activated it, we're now going to try and use Fenrir to target the Q to banish it so that I can't Synchro with my hand. We then use Cool Tune Synchro in response. They then use Fallen and the Virtuous. So, again, this is where it can kind of like snowball in such a bad way, because the best thing I can add is a Cool Tune Clip. but then it means that my hand has to involve a mix. Like it has to involve either a mix, another Q. No, it can't even use Q. It has to be mix, Herald of the Orange Light, or Rico in order to do anything. So not ideal. Yeah, Fenrir. They could have unicorned as well and ripped from the extra deck, but it's not. Because you play 3-ofs of a lot of stuff, the only thing you would really do is just whittle down the resource in the extra deck, or you get rid of, like, you see the extra deck and know, oh, he's playing Fallen of the Virtuous target, so you can get rid of those. Yeah, so a bit of give and take, I guess. I kind of still felt comfortable that like I could probably push through this a little bit, depending on what my opponent ends up getting access to. But the issue with the, like, you've got Fallen of the Virtuous, so that just reloops its resource. And then during the next turn, you can Unicorn if you play like a second birth or anything, which I don't think they do. Start off by normal summoning. Can't remember what the one that was actually. I think it's an Orcust monster. I think it's like Symbol Skeleton, if I remember correctly. But still having like, so yeah, Symbol Skeleton into Galatea Eye. Fenrir. The other issue as well is like Fenrir banishes any synchro that I put on the field, unless I then go, okay, cool, Fenrir into, go Q has to go into RS, but then I need to use RS's effect to negate the Fenrir in response, and then they just go cool chain Fallen of the Virtuous. So it doesn't really make much of a difference here. Like the best thing I could probably go into, depending on what my hand's like, is to go into a Trap Maker, just to kind of get me the search or the follow up for the next turn. I suppose the other benefit as well is like if I use Rico, then Rico would destroy the birth. So we're going to use Ash and Mix to go into Remix. So the reason I go with Remix is just so that I have that dodge. So if my opponent wants to use Fenrir, I can go, cool, tribute off the Remix's cost. Remix then revives one and then Synchro summons. So I can get into Trap Maker as well. And that's kind of what I do here is we go Chainlink 1, Unicorn, Chainlink 2 Mix will target the Galatea Eye because the Galatea Eye isn't on activation. Yes, of course, it can bring itself back from the grave and you've got Symbol Skeleton in the grave to do that. Trying to remember if I'm pretty sure I got a Ghost Spell, which is why I deliberately did that. So they banished a Remix. They can see that Remix is causing them a few issues. We destroy that. Then it kind of is, it's now into this state where... did we not use Fenrir? Did we use Fenrir to target Clip? I can't remember. I thought we did. So we're going to use Galatea Eye to try and come back from the grave. We're going to use Ghost Spell. Open Gate State, Fenrir to target the Clip. And that's at this point where it's like, okay, well, if I want to, like, I could let the Clip get banished. My Remix isn't strong enough. Like, Fenrir and Unicorn could just punch over it. But if I use Remix's effect here to tribute it off, as long as there's not an Impulse or a Bell from my opponent themselves, I add one back and I can summon one back. So if I summon back a level 2, I'm then in a position where I can just synchro instantly into Trap Maker. So then that gives me not only a resource back to the hand, but then it also gives me a Trap Maker. So I dodge the Unicorn, I get Trap Maker, and Trap Maker gives me the follow-up. So we've got Mix and we've got Q. Okay, so bring back the Mix, instantly synchro summon, so Mix doesn't get its search effect. But we're going to Trap Maker, who is 2500, so Unicorn can't punch for it and Fenrir can't deal with it. Then we get to go Q's effect. Trap Maker, Chainlink 1. Mix has already used this effect, so Trap Maker, Chainlink 1, and then Chainlink 2 Q. So we add the Call Tune Synchro. We banish one random from the extra deck, which is Galatea, which I'm pretty sure I remember him saying that he plays like 2 or 3 of it, so plenty of those to go around. Yeah, and then this kind of one, so we've added the Q back, just to explain that we've got the Q and what Q's going to do. And I think it kind of puts it in a bit of a, not a position, but it kind of like, I don't know, like Trap Maker makes it awkward for my opponent to try and deal with. The issue is like trying to pick this field apart, it's just going to keep coming back. Like I need to destroy Birth. Like I really need Rico right now. And I think that might be something that I kind of overlook a little bit. Is that I probably need to get Rico. I'm surprised they're going to SP, but then it's like, okay, well, you go into SP, and then you can bring back from the grave. Weirdly enough as well, they decided not to use SP effect to banish. They bring back a Fenrir off of Birth and then set one. Obviously, I know the set is Fallen and the Virtuous, so, you know, give and take on this one again as well. So we normal summon down. Don't know what we're reading here. Oh, clip. Normal summon down Q. Use Q's effect to revive or summon from hand, deck, or grave. Opponent's contemplating chain SP, target. Chain, Cool Tune, Synchro. And then again, Fallen and Virtuous, so a repeat of the last one to destroy the Q. Which is kind of okay. I suppose the only issue is I can't add the Rico. Because, I mean, like, I could add the Rico, but I can't use it as synchro material if I want to get into Loudness War. I've already used my normal summon. So, what will be add here? So it looks like, did I add? Yeah, I think that's a mix that I've added. So add mix. I've still got to resolve Q. No, did I forget to resolve Q? Wait, did I? No. No, did I forget to resolve Q? Why didn't I resolve Q? I'm hoping I'll do it soon. I'm resolving Cool Tune Synchro to go into Loudness War. Oh my god, I didn't resolve Q. That's actually massive. Oh my god, how did I not resolve Q? Q would have got me Rico. And then on a new chain, I would have been able to go into Loudness War. Then I would have been able to use Rico's effect to search me out at level 2. Did he? I'm just trying to remember what Loudness War does. Is it they can't be targeted as well? I know that the other tuners can't be destroyed. Just trying to remember. Your other tuners you control can't be destroyed by card effect. Your opponent cannot target them with card effects. Oh my god. So I would have had Rico on the field. They would have had to have used Fenrir to target the Loudness War. So it would have gone Rico, Chainlink 1. I mean, the Loudness War still gets banished, but I would have had Rico on the field. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, no. I think that's literally, that's what loses me door, because I would have Rico on the field, right? Rico would then search me out the clip, so I've got interaction during my opponent's turn. We're activating Desires, this resolves, and I think I draw 2 Effect Veilers. But it wouldn't have made any difference, because the Rico would have been on the field. So the Rico could have then gone into another Trap Maker, which, if I haven't used it this turn, which I don't think I did, would have got me a Cool Tune, a JJ Cool Tune, and then that JJ Cool Tune could have been used to normal summon down Mix. Mix could have then searched out a Q or another Rico, and I would have destroyed the Birth. Ah! How did I miss that? That's so bad. I mean, I know how I missed it, because there was like so much going on, and I was trying to play around certain effects and activations and everything else, but it would have meant that Fenrir doesn't come back to the field. It would have meant that there would have been like a Remix and RS on the field as well. Oh well, live and you learn on that one. That's quite a... That's why it's always quite fascinating to watch these back. I thought it was just generally a good duel. I just thought I generally got outplayed as well, which I did. But that misplay is costly, massively costly. Yeah, because Fenrir doesn't stay around. Rico's still on the field. There'd be a Trap Maker, and then the possible ability of Remix, and then Remix. So then they summon down Harp Horror. I could then go Remix, add back, and then Synchro into anything, as long as I use Mix to make it. So I could go into Loudness War. Which, I mean, would I want to destroy the Harp Horror? No. I'd probably go Track Maker. Yeah, use Track Maker and Mix or Clip or whatever. Return the Harp Horror back to the hand. Then there's no normal summon to be made. Yeah. Oh well. See, they're the ones that, you know, there's loads of things that happen in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! There's misplays, there's being unlucky and stuff like that. And the misplays only really matter if you do them again. If you do them multiple times. What's the saying? Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So, yeah. Always remember to resolve Q. Because it definitely wasn't negated, was it? It was definitely Fallen on the Virtuous. It was definitely destroyed. Yeah. Yup. And if I don't Rico, I bring back... even if I don't bring out Rico, you bring out Nova. But then my opponent, obviously, Fenrir targets Nova. No, because then it couldn't target the Nova. Because Loudness War would be on the field. It could only target the Loudness War. Oh, god darn it. Gosh darn, that's so annoying. Oh well. So we're carrying on with this duel, as you can see. I don't really have a lot here. It's literally just, I think it's 2 Veilers and a Rico in the hand. So I don't have the perfect players, I'm afraid. It's just going to be Veiler stop one, and then Veiler stop another. And then I think I top deck, if I remember rightly, I top deck Fuelos for turn, which is obviously another oopsie. You don't want to be seeing that. But that's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. It's absolutely fine. Just going to let my opponent keep playing here. Draw for turn. Top deck of the turn was Fua. I'm just like, yeah, I can't really do it. Obviously, I could chain Fua if they were to do anything to try and give me a draw, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's just Fua. I can't do that. So let's go into that all-important game 3. So luckily, I get to go first on this one. Normal summon down mix. Now, the plan on this one, going first, I do get hit with forward, is to aim to get the Rose Whip. Get the Rose Whip in play, they get 1 spell card, and I'm like, okay, well, they want to try and use Babel. If they play Return, they've got the Azamina package, which is obviously like, as you play it goes through like 3 spell cards. So, and then it's basically just a big moment of contemplation of how far do I play into this Fua? And what I mean by that is I think I've opened up JJ Cooltune. Is I'm like, well, I would normal summon down Q. Q's how I get I either summon from the hand, or I don't summon from the hand. Either summon from the hand and don't play into Fua, or I summon from the deck. Now I'm trying to get Rose Whip, so I'm going to want to summon from the deck. As soon as I do that, that then lets my opponent replace their Fua. So their Fua straight away goes from being a -1 to a balance, that like a balance. And then I'm like, right, okay, cool. If we try and make it, like, I can't leave my field like this. Like, this field's not good enough. If I don't have a clip and I don't have a remix, I can't do anything. So I'm like, right, well, now what? I'm going to have to give them another draw because I'm going to need to synchro summon. If there's no like Cool Tune synchro or anything like that, there's not really a lot I can do. Like, I'm then falling back on the hand interactions that I have. So at the moment, I think my opponent is now back to their full hand of 5. And it's whether I give them a +1 or more. And I felt like, well, I kind of want to get Remix in play. I kind of also want to get RS in play as well. I was like, I'll go Remix. Yes, they get a +1 off the back of this Fua. But at least with Remix, I've got the ability to tag it out, bring back a Rico and a Mix, and then go into RS. So I can destroy a monster, destroy a spell, and then get into RS. So I pass my opponent, let them draw. They've got a +1. But I'm like, okay, well, you get 1 spell at this moment in time, unless you can out my Rose Whip, which isn't the hardest thing, because if you could just go special summon down Fenrir, I'm like, okay. Or if you just go special summon down Witch, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So the Wanted gets activated. Contemplating whether I stop this, but then I'm like, okay, well, Wanted gets Witch, but then whatever Witch sets, it can't do anything with. If the Witch tries to go to the battle phase, all I need to do is use Remix in the battle phase, and then I can destroy it, get rid of it, whatever. So, normal summon down here. Again, I can't quite remember what this is. It's one of the Orcust monsters. Sending from deck to grave. So it's Gearsu. Okay, so it's Gearsu. Using Gearsu's effect to give us both a token. I mean, maybe I probably should have interacted with it at this point here. But then I know Witch is still there. So I'm like, if he's got Heart, he's already sent one from deck to grave. I obviously didn't have a card that would negate. Like, I didn't have an Ash or an Effect Veiler, because if I did, I would have stopped the Gearsu. The token goes into the Galatea Eye. Galatea Eye can keep brings herself back by banishing another Orcust monster. And then we get the World Crown, and I'm like, okay, so the World Crown basically shuts off RS. Like, RS is currently null and voided. But what I should have done here is I shouldn't have relied on the Rose Whip holding its own so much. I should have... so the Heart Porrer gets the Nightmare, and what I should have done is I should have gone, probably at this point here, maybe Remix, bring back Mix and RS, and then... So it goes into Galatea, but bring back Mix and Rico and Mix, and then maybe go straight into RS. And by going straight into RS, we just use Mix to destroy the crown, which then means RS is live. But I suppose the issue here again is that at the moment Rose Whip's only 17, so with Gearsu being 18, Gearsu's enough to deal with it. Yeah, so I don't think there's really enough here. Like, you'd have to destroy Gearsu. We're using Nightmare to buff Galatea. There's still the ability to go into Ding. I think I've got Herald of the Orange Light, and I don't know why I'm holding it so long. So we go into Ding. Ding's effect to send. Obviously, it's non-target, so I'm like, all right, well, it's either going to send the Rose Whip or it's going to send. I use Herald of the Orange Light to destroy, like, negate and destroy. They protect Ding by detaching the material, which is absolutely fine. And then I was like, oh, well, what I can do now is I can use Remix. If I use Remix to tag itself out, add back Herald of the Orange Light, and then bring back Mix to the field, I could then, obviously not ideal, but I could then synchro, if I get rid of the Rose Whip, I could synchro into a 6, or I synchro into a Track Maker, another Remix, but then I'd also then be able to use Mix's effect. Sorry, no, I wouldn't synchro into another Remix. I would just use Mix's effect to search me out another Q, and then I'd have another Herald of the Orange Light to keep going. So I think it's probably just one of these ones where maybe I've held back too much, and then they just go Chaos Angel, and then Chaos Angel outs it anyway. So to out the it was just one of the ones where I was like, they are so determined to out this Rose Whip. And it's like, okay, cool. So Chaos Angel is going to get rid of it regardless. And now I'm like, well, I know they still have Witch in the hand, which ultimately then gets all the Azamina package and everything else in between. So if I use Remix, like the best thing I can do here is Remix brings back, and I can either go into a Track Maker, which isn't disruptive. I don't have a Rico. I don't think anyway. I don't think I have a Rico to do anything. Or I can go into a Loudness War, and yeah, it doesn't really bode well. I'm just looking at there now, and I'm pretty sure there is a Red Nova, there's a Mix, there is a Rico, and then there is I think I had the Mix here, and I don't know why. I don't know why I thought Loudness War would be a good idea here. Because I make the Loudness War, and the only thing Loudness War can... Oh, no. This is why it is. So I went Rico, and I was like, Rico effect to add clip. So what I've got is I've got Loudness War, and then it gets ashed. So that's the massive turning point. Because if Rico doesn't get ashed, Rico adds me clip. I can then use clip's effect, summon itself down. Clip would then let me synchro summon, which uses Mix and Rico, which gets me into RS, which would then allow me to use Mix's effect to destroy, I think, Ding, because I'm pretty sure Chaos Angel is unaffected by monster effects. I would then be able to use Rico to destroy the set Babel, and then I'd have RS to respond to Witch here. And then when they use Witch, I could then also use the Loudness War to duplicate any of the effects in the graveyard. So that let me do that. At that point, I would be able to duplicate either a spell or trap destruction or a monster destruction and go from there. So yeah, that Ash was massive, absolutely massive. So from this point on, like, I've got no more interruptions. I can't even remember. I think the last card in my hand is Mix, so it's not doing anything right now, and my opponent's just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So my opponent's now just going to keep comboing. The only disruption I've got is Loudness War, and there's no benefit of that whatsoever, just because, yeah, I kind of saw the lines, and I didn't expect Rico to get ashed. But then I suppose it was the only chance or only time that Ash... I'm assuming the Ash was drawn either off of the Fua after I'd done most of my searching, or was top deck for turn. Yeah, so then we just go through full Azamina plays here. Use Rusiliago. This is then going to... I think all my monsters are weaker now. Ding attacks, Rusiliago attacks, get rid of the token, and then I take Chaos Angel at 35, Witch at 2,500, so I've taken 6,000 damage, and then we turn the Rusiliago into the Link 4, and then we get to utilise the Hollowed Azamina again, work our way into Sylvie, and then that's pretty much all I can do. So stop with the Synchro Overtake, that gets hit with the Sylvie, and also a Mix, that gets hit with the Crescendo. I'm like, yeah. Nothing I can do on that one, unfortunately. But really, really good duel. I'm sorry, I'm actually quite annoyed on myself that I missed the bloody resolving the queue in game 2. Maybe I wouldn't need to go through the pain of game 3. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, live and learn. Until next time, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.